What's up, guys? Canuck here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about PGA Tour 2K21. The trailer was released earlier this week, which was very exciting. Got a lot of press, and I think we're all very excited to see what unfolds with this new game. This video is going to primarily talk about the course designer. We got a very, very brief little glimpse in the trailer, which basically just said we're getting a designer back, saying that you can build your ultimate dream course. So I'm assuming that means we get the designer back, which in my opinion really kind of makes this series, but I know different people like different things. So today I'm going to talk about my 15 top things that I would like to see in the designer in PGA Tour 2K21. And so they're kind of ranked from things I want the most to maybe want the least. And I also put in there what I personally feel how likely it might be that we might see it in the new designer. I don't really know anything, but just as kind of a little guess as to what we might see. So let's jump right in. So it's mostly going to be a chatting video, but we will bring up TGC 2019 as I'll be able to show a few things here. So let's start with number one. So number one for me, obviously, I think for a lot of people, is just give us more stuff to play with. So new assets, new clubhouses, buildings, trees, just give us more stuff. And I think we're going to get that. I think we were a bit disappointed in TGC 2019 from TGC 2. We didn't get a huge jump in the amount of objects we got. We got some new things. We didn't get a lot. Obviously, we're not going to get thousands and thousands of new things. We're going to be realistic here, but just something different, some new things. For sure. So I do think that is quite likely, and hope that they can get that done. So that's number one. Number two, I think for us is either, for me, not us, for me, would be more themes, okay? Or maybe the ability to unlock a theme. What I mean by unlock a theme is let us use, for example, the trees from the boreal theme in, I don't know, like a step theme, which would look a little strange. But what designers, I think the creativity that they have to make things look a different way is what was intended, I think really helps make some of these new courses, gives us some staying power. Like we've got we're starting to see some courses lately that look totally different. We're like, what theme is this even in? Give us some more options to do that. I mean, just looking here, I'm just going to load up the designer here to start a new course. I just kind of want to take a look at the themes. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, what I think maybe needs to be looked at, things that need to be improved or maybe gotten rid of. So in terms of the themes here, desert theme, in my opinion, so long. See you later. I don't think we need it anymore. I think step theme has everything desert has, and more. So, if they got rid of the desert theme, I would not be upset. Boreal is a very old theme that we had back in TGC 1. It has not shown a ton of changes in terms of really anything. I really think Boreal would need a facelift. Tropical is okay. It's not a common theme I use, but I'd like to see a little bit more plant options, things there, especially textures too. We'll talk about textures later. Countryside was originally a theme that I was just like, it was an old original TGC 1 theme too that I haven't really used too much up till fairly recently, and I think what we're starting to see from some designers, there's really versatility of the countryside theme. And I think themes are, some of these themes that HB has put in are extremely good. And I think countryside is one that maybe doesn't need too much tweaking now that I think about it. It's maybe a few different plants, maybe a few different tree options, but it's a great theme. I'm really enjoying. I'm building a course in it right now, and I really like it. Harvest is fine. We have Harvest and Autumn, two kind of similar themes. Again, just kind of more plants, foliage options there. Probably one of the more versatile themes is Delta. I don't think Delta needs to be changed too much. You can do anything from a really inland, jungly kind of Delta course to a coastal Delta course, and everything in between. So I think Delta's a great theme. Rustic is probably needs a little bit of a facelift in my opinion. I think just kind of texture wise, and it's just everything's just a little bit too green in that theme. I think it could help with some more options with different trees and things like that as well. And I'm going to say the same thing with Swiss. Swiss has a lot of, again, I'm talking trees again, trees that are very identical, which I mean, that's what you would see in a kind of mountainous course. A lot of the trees are very similar, like you pine trees, fir trees, whatever. Um, Let me just give you us a few more options, maybe in terms of arrangement, size, or arrangement, or whatever of branches and things like that. I think that would be kind of neat. Step, I love step. It's one of my favorites. Would like to see a few more, maybe in terms of like shrubs and bushes and things like that. Um, but step, I love. Autumn is also another great theme. It's got a nice mix of colors, so this is a really good theme too. I love, and Highlands is an extremely versatile theme. So I wouldn't do too much with these themes. I'd maybe get rid of desert, and then a few improvements on boreal, tropical, harvest, rustic, Swiss, and I think we're good. But if you look at the end there, when I said not that likely, I just have a feeling we're not going to get any new themes, which sucks. But I don't know. I've got this strange feeling. I'd love to see like a Pacific coastal, like California, like almost like Pebble Beach, cypress tree kind of theme, which would be amazing. Um, and I really don't see the unlocked theme happening as much as I would love to see it. I don't see it happening. So anyway, that's themes. Number three. This is what a lot of designers have been asking for a while. Please make it easier, hopefully, to play test in different wind conditions. So when we're play testing in the designer, we always get 0 wind. There is a way to play test your courses without wind. It's basically to go and start your game in your unpublished courses file, and then you can set the wind and play it there. But you can't play holes and then make quick changes and play it again. You kind of got to go back and forth, which is a bit cumbersome. I'd love to see an option where we're able to play test in different wind speeds and wind conditions. And I think HB has listened to us with that, as we've been hoping for it for the last few iterations now. So I'm going to put that is likely going to happen. I'm being hopeful there. Number four. So what 2019 brought us in was the advanced edit features, for us to kind of tilt and spin and do lots of things with a lot of and sync trees, things like that. They gave us a lot of different options to do that, but they didn't do it with everything. Like rocks, for example, like being able to tilt and rocks, even water. I really think there's a lot of interesting potential there if they let us advance edit everything. So even like buildings, even putting them on their sides, I just the possibilities of what people could come up with are endless, and maybe HB wouldn't even need to come up with a whole bunch of new objects if we're able to make stuff out of what we have. I think that's been a really strong part of the community is people have been able to make things that are like, how did they do that? And then that you see the objects and you're like, oh, okay, I see that. um, it would be nice to give us that option. Just give us a little bit more creativity. Let us advance edit, absolutely everything that you could possibly lay down. So that would be neat, and I think that might be likely too. Again, being optimistic for sure. Number five, this one may seem a little bit minor to some people, but to the hardcore designers who've been doing this for a while, um, it's the idea of these squiggly rough lines. So I'm just gonna bring up, for those that don't know what I mean. I'm sure some people do. Um, I'll just bring it up in my new course here. There's been an issue again? It's been since the first game, and it has to kind of do with the layering of the textures. Um, but when you see how we got a kind of a nice smooth line here, okay, that takes a long time to do. So I'm talking about smooth line here between the rough and the heavy rough. Okay, what we would love to see is just the ability to, if we were to lay down heavy rough over the light rough, it not turn all squiggly. Do you see how it turned all squiggly there? See? Boom, boom. And that's been driving some hardcore designers absolutely mental, and it's made us have to usually use like a little brush or a little spline and painstakingly go around the entire fairway. And it's really slow, monotonous, pain in the butt work. It's probably my least favorite thing to do in the designer. My guess is HB has heard us. I think this is very likely we're going to see this changed, and it'll be nice for us to just lay down our fairway, and then we can just paint in our or just drop in our heavy rough and not have to worry about those squiggly lines. So may seem kind of minor, but a lot of hardcore designers kind of know what I mean with that. Get rid of those squiggly lines. I think it's going to happen. Number 6, bunkers. I really think in terms graphically, bunkers have taken a strange step back. Back in the old TGC 1, if you were to load up TGC, the original, the golf club, the bunker textures, I think, were way better. I feel like they've kind of taken a step back. They seem kind of flat, kind of lifeless. So I think better bunker textures, better bunker lips. I mean, that they got rid of that floating lip for the most part. But I would like to see that being better. And I think what a lot of people are asking for, especially for like Highlands themes or really anything, give us the option to give us pot bunkers. I mean, you can lay down a round bunker and make it deep, but it's not a true pot bunker. Maybe some planks and things like that, or like some wood, like almost like support. I mean, that would be really neat. Not sure how that would be able to be done. But yeah, I think just in general, bunkers need to be improved. Your textures. I don't know if we'll get pot bunkers per se, but I think just in terms of textures and bunker lips, I think those graphics are hopefully going to be reworked, and I think it's very likely we're going to see that. At least I hope. Number 7. So more backdrops for themes. So here's the countryside theme. Yeah, I've got 3 backdrops. I mean, give us a few more. I think for each theme. I'm not asking for like 30 for each theme, but give it 6 or 7 options. I think that would, again, really increase the diversity of what a course can look like. And just a nice little visual thing to help courses really stand out and pop. So I'm going to say that's likely. I hope so. Yeah, more backdrops, please, HP Studios. Number 8, the ability to either blend or kind of paint on textures. So what I mean by that is, we have the brush to kind of paint, I guess, in a way, textures on. But for example, like, just give us more options to, like, if we want this kind of rocky area. Yes, you can achieve this rocky area by making the land, a certain elevation. Some people have found a trick by, if you sink in the trees, it makes it a more rockier, kind of rougher texture. But maybe just give us an option where, like, we have different, this is a brush and we can paint it on different areas. That would increase the creativity and a variety of courses, like a huge amount. What people would be able to do, or even to like blend textures, for example, like this is green, for example, but just being able to blend them together. Like, what if we blended a number 12 texture and number 8 texture? What would that look like? Or maybe we'd have kind of browner spots in areas. I think that would be really neat. So that ability to kind of blend or paint textures on is something I'd love to see. I think that is a possibility, but not holding my breath on that one. Would be neat, though. Number 9, better looking textures just across the board. I think in terms of just grass, greens, plants, just an overall bit of a graphics kind of overhaul in terms of all the main textures. And I think we are going to see that. In fact, I think we've already seen that in the trailer. I think we have already noticed the grass. If you look really down low, I think the grass looks a lot better in PGA Tour 2K21. So I think it's very likely we're going to see an improvement across the board in textures. So I am happy. I was happy to see that early in the trailer. And I hope we see that kind of throughout. I mean, like water, I think water's okay right now, but I think that can include a bit of an overhaul as well. But yeah, just across the board, just better looking textures. I think we're going to get it. All right, number 10. Um, More responsive kind of snapping tool. So we have the ability to snap fences and bridges and things like that. It's a bit cumbersome. It's not perfect. Um, just I've played games like city building games like City Skylines and things like that. Just being able to like just the snapping of roads and things like that. And I always wonder like why couldn't we do that in the game? Or like if we had like if we wanted to make like a curved fence or something, just like kind of put a point there, and then like just adjust splines, like almost like splining out fencing and things like that. The tricky part would be aligning it to the land, but I just think it's just more responsive, just a more useful snapping tool. I'm not sure how likely that is. I put somewhat likely, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Number 11, um, an enhanced lighting model. I just we The golf club has been, I think, using the Unity engine. I'm not definitely an expert on graphics engines and things like that, um, but I'd like to see a bit of an overhaul in the lighting. As many people know, I love a kind of lower lighting course, and I think this game looks spectacular in low lighting. But going away from the sun, the textures all get real flat, as you can see here. Not that inviting. So if there was a way to enhance that lighting model anyway, I would be all for it. But from the looks of it, just based on the trailer, it looks like we're getting a pretty similar model. So I'm not holding my breath on an enhanced lighting model per se. I'm not even sure what I really mean by enhanced lighting model. I just want it to look better in different lighting conditions. That's all. But I'm not sure we're going to get it there. Number 12. And I think this one's probably an automatic just based on what we've seen from the first three games, is hopefully we can port our courses over from TGC 2019. I don't see any reason why they would take that out. And people, it'll give us a nice stock of courses to start the game with. I know they always have the official courses and stuff like that to get people started, but I think a lot of people in the community really like the community built courses. And it's a huge library that a lot of people don't know about. So if you head over to tgctours.com, you don't know about that, it's a huge third-party tournament site. It also includes a course database, so all the top courses that have been created in the game you can find in that library. And just being able to bring those courses over to the new game to show a new audience about what creators can do in the designer, I think would be huge. So I would be shocked if they got rid of the porting courses ability. So I just hope we see it back in 2K21. Number 13, this is probably a bit of a pipe dream, as I probably realize that courses can only be a certain size or a certain file. But increase that object limit maybe would be awesome. Just a bit. I'm not asking like triple the size of it, but just make it a little bit bigger. So the object limit obviously is this yellow bar, or for those that don't know, is this yellow bar up on the top. As you can see, I'm only through. I don't feel like I've planted this course a ton. I'm only through the 6th hole, and I'm about there. So this is about the halfway point. So if I keep planting at this pace, I might go over the limit. So again, not having to worry about that would be great, but I do understand the limitations, especially with consoles and things like that. As if you had an overly planted course, it would probably really lag and suffer. So I understand that. Therefore, I don't think it's likely we're going to get an increased object limit. They've probably found their sweet spot, and they probably don't want to defer too much from that. Hopeful, but again, we'll see. This is kind of a pie in the sky one for me. Customizing course presentation. This is something I would absolutely love. I definitely think this is a pipe dream too. Just more like letting the designer customize how the course is presented in game. So, for example, like being able to name your holes would be neat, like for the flyover, like maybe picking a banner and, hole one, which is named whatever. Maybe giving us a little more tweaking in how the flyover works. Or maybe even going as far as to, if you're at certain points in the course, what camera angle it's going to use. I don't know. I probably not going to happen, as that would probably be a huge ask. I don't think it's likely, but that would be on my ultimate dream list for sure. Customizing course presentation. And my final one, this is kind of a final wrap up one. It's probably my most important one, but I just needed 15, so I put it at the end. Oh, there we go. Is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We've got a really good designer here in TGC 2019. The thing I love about it is it's pretty easy to use. Once you start figuring out how the tools work and you start playing with it, it's pretty easy to navigate. It's pretty easy to move around in it, and it's pretty easy to use. Please, I don't change that. That's what I love about this designer so much, is its ease of use. Okay, again, for new people, takes a little bit of time to get a grasp around it. We've got a lot of great, designers that make awesome tutorials and things like that. So just, I mean, don't mess with a good thing. I hopefully that doesn't get overcomplicated or things like that. I don't think it will, for especially for consoles using controllers and stuff. I don't think it'll be too cumbersome, but just something to that we hope stays the same. It's just the ease of use of the designer. So anyway, those are my 15 things, my designer wish list. I have way more. I just don't want to make this a 3-hour video. What do you guys want to see? Again, put your comments down below. I'm really interested to hear, what did I miss? I'm sure I definitely missed some things. This was something I thought up off the top of my head. So what do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments. So thank you guys. I might do a similar video based on gameplay, so keep an eye on that. So kind of gameplay features I might want to see. So hopefully you guys can check that out too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.